bone tumors, including the primary bone tumors and secondary bone tumors. So primary bone tumors, that includes the benign one and also the malignant one. So metastatic disease is more common than the primary bone tumors. It's mean that primary bone tumors are those that originate from the bone, and secondary bone tumors are that don't originate from the bone, but they metastasize from other portion of the body, like from the prostate to the bone, and from the lung cancer that can originate from the lungs and then spread to the bones like the ribs. So there are different kinds of the bone tumors, primary as well as secondary. So here, first of all, we will discuss about the benign tumors, including the osteochondroma. That is the most common benign bone tumor, and it is common in males of less than 25-year-old. And the location of osteochondroma is at the metaphysis of long bones. So the junction of the epiphysis and diaphysis actually cover the area of shaft of bone, while epiphysis or edges are the ends of bone. So metaphysis is the junction or the growth plate area of the bone. So osteochondroma will be present at metaphysis of long bones, and most commonly around the knee and distal femur. So characteristic of osteochondroma, it includes lateral bony projection of growth plate and covered by cartilaginous cap, points away from joint, and there will be the gene mutation in EXT1 or EXT2. Hereditary multiple exostosis will be there because of mutation, and rarely transforms to chondrosarcoma. And next tumor is that is benign as well, osteoma, that is commonly present in middle-aged person, and the location is in the facial bones, surface of facial bones, and it is associated with Gardner syndrome. Then next one is the osteoid osteoma, that is common in adults less than 25-year-old, and more common in males than females. And it is present in the cortex of long bones. Characteristic of osteoid osteoma, classically it presents as bone pain that actually worsen at night, and it is uh, classically present as bone pain caused by prostaglandins, and that is relieved by NSAIDs, versus osteoblastoma that is not relieved by NSAID. So in osteoid osteoma, it will be relieved by NSAIDs, and there will be bony mass less than 1.5 centimeter with radiolucent osteoid core. Then next one is osteoblastoma, and osteoblastoma is unresponsive to NSAIDs. The pain is not relieved by NSAIDs. It is same just like osteoid osteoma, common in males more than females, and it is present at vertebrae and similar histology to osteoid osteoma. So it is unresponsive, but it is larger in size, greater than 2 centimeter, and actually similar to aneurysmal bone cyst. And on X-ray, it will be similar to aneurysmal bone cyst. And then the next one is the important one, that is giant cell tumor, and it is more likely to be present between 20 to 40 years of age, and more common in females as compared to males. So the previous one, all of those were common more in males, but this one, giant cell tumor, more common in females than males, and it involves the epiphysis of long bones after skeletal maturation, often in knee region, may extend into metaphysis if large. So giant cell tumor and chondroblastoma involves the epiphysis, while the osteochondroma was involving the metaphysis of long bones. So remember that giant cell tumor and chondroblastoma both are involving the epiphysis of long bone. So epiphyses are the edges of the long bones. So remember, this is important, and giant cell tumor will be visible on X-ray as soap bubble. So soap bubble appearance will be on X-ray. And here it is, although it is benign tumor, giant cell tumor, but it is locally aggressive tumor. Locally aggressive benign tumor. Neoplastic mononuclear cells will be present that express rank L and reactive multinucleated giant osteoclast-like cells, osteoclastoma. Also, giant cell tumor can be called as osteoclastoma, and there will be this soap bubble appearance on X-ray. Then the next one is osteoblastoma. That is more common in males than females, and most likely happens in adolescence. Then it is also present at the epiphysis of long bones before skeletal maturation and often in knee region. Patient may complain of joint pain, and there will be the cross physis on X-ray. Cross physis on the X-ray. Next, the malignant tumors. The previous one were benign, and here are some malignant tumors, including the osteosarcoma, chondrosarcoma. So the benign ones were ending with omas, and the malignant tumors are ending with sarcoma, osteosarcoma, chondrosarcoma, and Ewing sarcoma. So osteosarcoma, that is also known as osteogenic sarcoma. This tumor, malignant tumor, show the bimodal age distribution. It's mean that it is present in early adulthood, like less than 20 years of age, and also in the older adults. So it shows the bimodal age distribution and accounts for 20% of primary bone cancers. And also it is associated with Paget disease, like often secondary to Paget disease and prior radiation or bone infarcts, familial retinoblastoma, and Li-Fraumeni syndrome, increased risk of early adolescent onset. All these risk factors increase the risk for early onset. So osteosarcoma is present in metaphysis of long bones. Previously we have discussed the first one, that was the osteochondroma. So osteochondroma and osteosarcoma present at metaphysis of long bones. So metaphysis, the junction of meeting of epiphysis and diaphysis, the in between space. So it is present just like osteochondroma, osteosarcoma present at metaphysis of long bones, often in knee region. And so characteristically, there will be the pleomorphic osteoid producing cells and malignant osteoblast, and it present as painful enlarging mass or pathologic fractures. And there will be the two things that you need to remember: Codman triangle or sunburst pattern on X-ray, and think of an osteochord, and it is aggressive. Osteosarcoma is aggressive and primarily usually responsive to treatment, surgery, chemotherapy, and poor prognosis for secondary. So if it is primary tumor, then it will be responsive to treatment, and if it is secondary, then it will have poor prognosis. Then next one is chondrosarcoma, that is more common in adults greater than 50-year-old. So it will be present in mostly older people, and it will involve medulla of pelvis, proximal femur, and humerus. And the characteristic of chondrosarcoma, it is tumor of malignant chondrocytes, lytic greater than 50% cases with intralineal calcification and endosteal erosion, cortex breach. And then next one is the most important tumor, that is Ewing sarcoma, onion skin, while in osteosarcoma it was the sunburst. Here it was the sunburst pattern and Codman triangle that we need to remember. This is the sunburst pattern, and here in Ewing sarcoma there will be the onion skin periosteal reaction. So you need to remember onion skin periosteal reaction associated with Ewing sarcoma. So it will be onion skin periosteal reaction, and it will be aggressive with early metastasis but responsive to chemotherapy. And here you need to remember T1122. Differentiate from condition with similar morphology like lymphoma and chronic osteomyelitis by testing for T1122 fusion protein EWS FLI1. So Ewing sarcoma most common in white patients, generally in males less than 15 years old. and it involves in diaphysis. So this is important to remember. Diaphysis of long bones are involved, and also of the pelvis involvement and flat bones. Pelvis flat bones and diaphysis of long bones will be involved in Ewing sarcoma. So two things in the Ewing sarcoma: diaphysis of long bones and T1122 fusion protein EWS FLI1 and onion skin periosteal skin reaction.